Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Generation Millennium. I'm your visually impaired host, Jeff Romandus, and this is part 5, I believe, of my Pokemon Violet playthrough or something, somewhere around those lines. Ah! And yes, you just saw me fall down into the crater because this is where we meant to go. When we last left off, I finished off the remainder of the Team Star storyline, as well as the final battle with Arvin, because that's all I had to do for the Path of Legends storyline, since my gracious cousin helped me finish off getting all the movement abilities. So now it's up to me to finish up the rest of the game, because now it's time for this final storyline, the Path to Home, I think is what that says, because everyone here is under the assumption that we are essentially bringing our right Pokemon back to his home, their original, I don't know, what they think is his birthplace or something or other. But yeah, now we're beginning our descent into Area 0. But before we can enter the Area 0, we got some backstory here going on, in which Professor Turo, since we're on Violet, is gonna be explaining a lot of stuff, and as mentioned in the last episode, we gathered together pretty much all the main characters from each storyline. Nimona from Victory Road, Arvin from Path of Legends, and Penny from Starfall Streets. They're all going to team up with us. We're going to travel to Area 0 as a group, because apparently Area 0 is a rather dangerous location with very high level and fully evolved Pokemon and whatnot, so that's why the professor here wanted us to come together as a full team of strong trainers, so they know for sure that we can handle the dangers that are to come, because for some reason the professor doesn't really quite fully explain what's going on. But if you look at the text of how the professor speaks, you notice it's very, I guess, robotic in a way, just like their language is very stiff. And whenever they mention things here and there, it sounds as if they're a machine, like scanning or something rather. Yeah, it's very suspicious. We'll find out later why that is. I won't spoil it here, but that's essentially what the professor wants us to do: is enter Area 0, find the 4 research stations scattered about to unlock the well, each research station essentially has a keypad or monitor or machine that lets us descend. Well, it unlocks the door at the laboratory, and what we have to do is, again, go to each of those locations and unlock each one of the fail-safe door locks, or whatever you want to call them. And after that, we can then actually enter the laboratory in Area 0, where the final story stuff begins, and the door going down is somebody around here somewhere. There we go. It's like, I know I had to go down here somewhere. But now that we've entered that cutscene, we entered here, the 0 gate, which is the area we just entered, which, if you're looking at it, they just refer to it as the Great Crater Paldea, which is kind of funny, because if you would try to enter the Great Crater before, and you you went to the wrong area of the crater, then you would just get teleported back up to the map. But after you travel down to Area 0 for the first time, if you were to try to enter Area 0 from the outside, and you try to hop in, you would get teleported into the crater at some random location. I'm not sure exactly where. It's kind of like when you try to enter Mesa Gosa from the outside. Since Area 0 and Mesa Gosa have their own loading zone areas, that you try to enter from the outside, they just warp you somewhere inside the location. Oop, now I have to move. Just move forward, I think. And then enter this area. And I think now we have a full cutscene going. Just let it roll. Okay, good, cutscene's still rolling, and I had to step away for a bit because someone entered the back room here where I'm recording, so I had to close the door again because they didn't close it up fully. And I believe this is one of these cutscenes that you can actually turn off with the movie skip function, but I'm actually glad I kept it on because it gave me a couple seconds to readjust this recording environment. Although as of recording this episode, I may very well be on my track to returning back to a home recording session environment. Just gotta cut down about 6 more pounds or so. I think it's my little environment that I'm in. I'm attempting to apparently lose weight, which I knew I was going to do that, but I didn't realize that was actually a contingent requirement for me to return back to the home environment. Which I'm actually hoping I can, because not only do I enjoy recording Pokemon stuff, but I'm also a bit of a singer in some cases, so but I can't exactly sing in an office environment, so once I get a home environment, I may start recording some, I don't know, some Disney song covers and uploading to my Patreon or something or other. Because if I try to upload it here, I get copyrighted for sure. But yeah, we now hop down into the crater. And now we're going to begin our descent because from exiting the lab and entering this area, part of the area 0, we had to hop down with our ride Pokemon, and there's no way to get back to the 0 gates without fast traveling there. So much dialogue. I've just been nothing but dialogue this entire time. I've barely moved at all. As you guys saw at the beginning of the episode, yeah, I took the time to actually just run around and save my game as I'm about to enter the crater itself, just to save myself some time and agony, because if I try to travel there as part of the episode, this episode probably been extended by another half an hour, so I decided to save you that agony having to watch that. But now we're traveling through Area 0, and on my headphones, the music just came out of nowhere, ooh. And maybe people said they liked the music at Area 0, and while I admit it's nice and mysterious and adds to the atmosphere of this location, but personally, if you get lost as long as I have, this music gets very annoying very quickly. Giraffe. These are one of the most common Pokemon you can find here. And as we walk around, you'll actually notice that the characters in our party, I guess you can call it, Arvin, Nomona, and Penny, they'll have a nice little conversation with one another as you travel around. And essentially our goal here, traveling through Area 0, is essentially just to attempt to find the research stations, and I'll know I found them because I'll move directly into a cutscene, but for the most part, your goal is to try to find a path downward. And if you're also wondering as to why I haven't hopped onto my ride Pokemon yet, the answer is simple. You can't ride on your ride Pokemon in Area 0, at least not for the story. Once you complete all the Area 0 story stuff and you get to post-game, then you can come back here and ride your ride Pokemon, but for the time being, for some reason your ride Pokemon is scared out of their mind and don't want to come out. Which is rather odd considering they are assuming that this is Miraidon or Koraidon's home, and yet it just doesn't want to come out. But anyways, you can see some of these fully evolved Pokemon. I'm just going to take them all out because, I mean, for one, you can grind a lot of TM materials here. You get a lot of LP with all the Pokemon that spawn here. And if you're in Stone Clan, you can also just sell a lot of the materials you get for even more LP. Like the Giraffe Rig, I think they give 200, 100 LP for each one you sell off. And as much as I would just like to just jump down, unfortunately there's a bit of a height limit. If you jump down too far, the game just blocks you and teleports you back upward. Because they want to ensure that you don't skip past the research station that's on your, in your vicinity. But you can like find Giraffe down here, Corviknights, Venomoths. Those are like the most common spawns. With some other Pokemon like say the evolutions, Raichus, Braviaries, Floettes I believe. I think Jumpluff and Skipblooms. Like this area even has like technically it's like own like kind of like biome area, so you can find some other Pokemon maybe in like waterish kind of places like Masquerain or Golducks. I think the occasional Bisharp can also spawn. And once you get near the bottom, you enter like the more cavernous areas. You can also find like Gobites, Garchomps, Garganacles, Zealuses, Hydreigon. And of course, the Area 0 is known for having the infamous Paradox Pokemon. For those, I mean, this game's been out for ages. You should know what a Paradox Pokemon is by now. Although, frankly, the fact that we're in Violet, and anyone who knows Japanese, the word Mirai and the word Miraidon is Japanese for future. So, that was a pretty big hint for story relevant stuff for me when I heard the name. I was like, wait a second. And then they started talking about, and I heard the leak before about Paradox Mons. I'm like, okay, so apparently that's going to be part of the franchise now. Because why not? Time travel is always such a fun thing, isn't it? Although thankfully this time around, we, the character, are not the ones traveling through time. But the Paradox Mon, on the other hand, that's a different story. And speaking of story, I don't think I've seen these guys talk to each other. Then again, maybe I ran past that section. But whenever these characters talk, you are not allowed to throw out your Pokemon in Let's Go battle mode. You just have to run around. If you encounter any Pokemon, then the conversation will pause. You go into the battle. You can either defeat the Pokemon yourself or run away, and then the conversation will continue until they're done speaking their parts. And the characters essentially speak every single time, like you leave a research station. Like they have stuff to say on the way to research station 1, and after you reach station 1, you go through cutscenes, and you leave station 1, then on the way to station 2, they'll continue their conversation, and rinse and repeat for all the way to station 4, in which after you finish the stuff at station 4, you then head to the 0 lab, because after that you already unlocked all 4 of the keypads. And as mentioned before, I have no idea if I'm making any progress or not, because for some reason station 1 always takes forever for me to find. Oh, for a second there I thought I found a cutscene, but instead, nope, I'm just falling down. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Kind of like in the early game when if you were to like try to go into the water when you don't have the surfing ability yet, they just give you that message saying that you managed to make your way back to your party members somehow. I could have sworn the way down is to the left, but is it to the right instead? Going to the right is more annoying because Corviknights and Braviaries tend to spawn this area, I think. And those things like home in on you. Although funny enough, during my original playthrough for Pokemon Violet, I actually came across a shiny Corviknight, or rather it found me. But it's still rather a strange curse I seem to have. Like, I seem to keep the first shiny I get in a new Pokemon game seems to always be a Pokemon from the previous generation. Like, I don't know what it was for Generation 6 or 7, but in Generation 8 my first shiny I got was a Grubbin. So I wouldn't be surprised if my first shiny in Generation 7 Sun and Moon was a Pokemon from Generation 6 or something. Because apparently that seems to be a curse I'm afflicted with. Although, because I can't see the shinies in the overworld, I haven't really found that many, so I wouldn't be surprised if I, like so many other people, have walked past like tons of shiny Pokemon without even really knowing. Like throughout this entire playthrough, maybe I ran past some shinies, so that, I guess that could be a common question. You guys can yell at me. It's like, Generation, Jeffro, you ran past a shiny! And my response would be, well, how's I supposed to know? I can't see squat. But then after that, I was like, I got my Pokemon Scarlet playthrough, and I was like running through East Province Area 3 in the whatchamacallit. Just trying to find my way toward the Earthworm Titan just so I can unlock the Watchtower as a flight point, not to mention also locate the Pokemon Centers in that vicinity. First at Pico in the East Province Area 3 Pokemon Center. And I just encountered a shiny Makuhita there, so that was interesting. And during my last run through of Area 0, just like I was hunting for paradoxes just for the sake of having a living dex because other people were wanting the paradoxes in the Violet, so I was helping them out with that. And I ran into a shiny, or rather, a shiny Iron Bundle found maze. And so many Giraffes. I mean, I did say they were coming, but yeesh. Although, if you look hard enough, you can also find a wild Giraffes evolution also in this area. But anyways, one thing about the research stations, they tend to be like hugging the walls areas, so if you stick close to the wall, you should find them eventually. I mean, they're metal buildings that kind of stand out, so if you have good eyes, you can probably see them very easily. Or at least I would hope so. Well, why'd you go to the Pokeball? Is there no Pokemon in this vicinity? Is that why you returned to the ball? Ooh. I ran to a cliff. Stay away from that. I don't want to fall down. Ah, there's a Braviary I was talking about. Hey, what the? Fine, you want to die? I'll take you out. But how come I can't? Oh, I think the characters are now in conversation again. Yep, let's go mode is not working. That means they must be in conversation. Which must mean I'm making progress if they're in conversation. That's like a good progress barrier. Not barrier, but progress checkpoint, I suppose. Well, the question is which way to go from here. Oh, it looks like they're done the conversation. Okay, that must be a wall. The Pokeball's not working. Okay, apparently I can't go that way. Wait, what the? Which way can I go again? What the heck? Am I stuck? The frick? Okay, looks like I can go this way. And Coquelin just took out a few mons there. Cliff, so maybe this way. I hear sounds of exclamation point Pokemon spotting me. Hopefully the aggro is not too bad and they don't run at me. Stay away, please. You guys essentially just watch me stumble my way around. Hopefully I can find research station at least one in this episode. Ah, crap. Please don't teleport me back to the beginning of the area. That would just suck. Okay, this doesn't look like the beginning. Which means I think I can continue on in this direction, maybe? Since in front of me, I think it was to the cliff side. And I see a big wall in front of me, so hopefully this means the research station is somewhere in this vicinity. Oh, Metasham. Taking this one out is also nice because like you need the Meditite item for the Fire, Thunder, and Ice Punch TMs, I think. So if you find a Metacham, take him out because having access to those TMs is always nice. And I guess I am making progress because I'm hearing this sound. Well, I'm not. I don't see me entering auto battle. I will not battle you because I don't want to get staticked. And looks like I can't auto battle, which means they must be still be in conversation. But it means I'm making progress. Whether it's the correct progress is debatable, however. What the heck am I keep hearing sound as if I'm keep cutting to a cliff. Venomoth. I'm glad to see you back in the mainline game, Venomoth, but at the same time, leave me alone. Oh, looks like I picked up some berries. Yeah, you can also find a bunch of random berries and TMs also scattered, and other items scattered around Area 0. Let's see. You'd think I had this place memorized by now, like I did Area everywhere else, but I've only played through Area 0 like storyline maybe 3 times before now, so and for me it takes multiple repetition to memorize something, and 3 times you would think would be enough, but considering how large this place is, yeah. Oh hey, Floette. Alright, now I'll take you out. Oh yeah, speaking of Floette, it's you can always find a white flower Floette in here in Area 0, whereas if you try to find it outside, it's pretty rare for some reason. Yet here, it's like the most common thing ever. So yeah, if you're looking for the white flower, just come here and ash it till I fall down again. Alright, what do you a bit more detailed this time? I'm hearing something that sounds like a sandstorm blowing this area. Oh, god dang it. How come I'm not getting that warning sound of like the person like running into the cliff? Because normally if you run into a cliff, there's like a warning sound of like the person like, yeah, like right here, like the person like tripping and like almost not falling off. Like sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I don't understand why. It definitely does not happen when you're on a ride Pokemon because, well, you can't exactly trip if you're riding a ride Pokemon. And wait, hold on. Am I back to the beginning? What the frick? I recognize this frickin' fence. Please don't tell me I just ran in one humongous circle. Because if I made progress and then I fell down the freaking cliff and they just told me back up to the beginning, that's just bullshit. Excuse my language, but that's just the truth. Well, I just ran to that Venomoth even though I saw it the last second. Like I saw the Venomoth, I tried to change my course and then I still encountered it, like, meh. Turn back, I don't want to fall down. Because at this point in time, if you fall down anywhere, apparently you fall down too far. And I think I fell down anyway. Crap. Oh, maybe not. Although seriously, what's with this gusting wind blowing through this area? I mean, the characters were talking to one another, so it felt like I was making some kind of progress. I swear though, if I find a shiny while wandering around here, like, Jesus, that'd be like the 3rd time I found a shiny just by wandering around doing stuff. Well, technically they found me. Corviknight, an iron bundle, they're one of those some of those Pokemon that, like, if they see you, they will run at you because for some reason they just want to battle. And I'm certain I'm also not the only person who thinks of this, but the futuristic paradox is, why in the world do they all have the word iron in their names? Like, all the past paradox Pokemon have more creative names, like Fluttermane, Brutal, I forget Mungus' one, but like Slitherwing, Roaring Moon, those are all cool sounding names, and it's the future ones are just all like iron this, iron that. It's as if they just got lazy, because apparently futuristic robotic Pokemon apparently all have iron installed into them. Although there's one thing about the Scarlet Valley DLC that I'm interested in, it would definitely have to be to see what they do with the legendary paradoxes, because after Walking Wake and Iron Leaf events that we had some time ago, I think we're all itching to see the rest of those respective trios, like what they're going to do for Entei and Raikou, as well as Terrakion and Cobalion. And I think I just heard a Corviknight somewhere. Probably going to run into me soon. There we go. Screw you, Corviknight. I was trying to run away from you, but you found me. And since you're not shiny, I don't care. And I think I also hear some Giraffrigs in the vicinity. I'm like surrounded by a horde of Giraffrigs. Or a herd, more like. Herd, horde, same difference. I'm surrounded by a group of them. Oop, I hear Cliff. Move away. Maybe this way? Nope. Dang, Cliff. At least the good news is there's no timer to worry about or anything, but still. Like, to me, this is the one part where the mini-map becomes useless because, well, there's not really even a map to record here in Area 0. So this is why when I first played this, I did this back when the game first came out. I got to this point, and I was essentially stuck here for like 2 weeks. I mean, can you blame me for being stuck for like 2 weeks? Like, there's no freaking map to know where the heck you're supposed to be going. All I knew was like, okay, go to Research Station 1. Yeah, where exactly is that game? Like, you couldn't even give us a map of Area 0 to tell me like what direction to go in. Oh no, I hear gustering winds. Am I back to the beginning? I hear Braviary somewhere. Run! Damn it. It found me. This is so unfair. It's like, since I don't have a right Pokemon, I can't outrun these things. And I think I heard some Floettes blowing around in the wind. It was the one thing people hate about the whole Floettes and Hop Up and Skiploom line thing is like the fact that they just get blown away in the wind. So if there's some wind blowing and you see the shiny and it gets blown away, you can't encounter it. It's like total BS. Although considering they're like lightweight Pokemon, it does make sense they get blown away in the wind. But at the same time, again, like if you saw the shiny and it gets blown away, it's like it's gone, bye bye, and crack, I fell. And I keep falling, and I think they just keep sending me back to the beginning. No wonder it took me forever to do this the first time around if they keep sending me back to the beginning for this. Where's that freaking game timer? Or not the game timer, the recording timer. How long have I been stumbling around here? trying to find that timer, but I can't seem to locate it. Oh, there it is. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's already been an hour and half an hour and I still haven't found the blasted research station. But yeah, that should give you guys a nice taste as to why I despise this area with a passion. So I guess I'll just pause here, and I guess I'll resume once I find a blasted research station. I've wasted half an hour just stumbling around, so yeah, BRB y'all. Alrighty, I'm back, and I believe I may have found the quote-unquote path that you're supposed to follow to get to the research stations. However, what sucks is anytime you accidentally fall down too far, they keep teleporting you back to the beginning. So at this point, I'm just going to keep saving until I find the right research station area. Because if I fall and I keep getting warped back to the start, which I did like 3 times in the past, 10-ish minutes? And my timer, oh, well, like almost like 14 minutes. Then I stopped recording. And excuse all the noise in the background, it's apparently lunchtime for some people. But yeah, now that I've found this other area, possibly leading a path downward, hopefully I can finally make some progress. I hear a cliff. Get away from that. And I keep getting ambushed by all these Venomoths and Corviknights. And the one thing I also hate about keep running into all these counters is they keep changing my perspective, therefore I keep losing track of like what direction I'm looking at and where I'm going. Especially with all these cave walls, to me they pretty much all look the same. And I think I've walked off the beaten path. Let's see here. Ah, shoot, I fall. Yep, and they teleport you back to the beginning because I can hear it with strong winds. Those only occur when you're at the very top. So reset. So I just want to show you guys that little segment, and I guess I'll officially resume recording once I actually find a blasted research station. So be right back again. And back, I think I've triggered a cutscene. I might have just found their first research station, huh? And if not, then maybe something else. Oh, I think this is their first research station. So yeah, I found it, yay! I made progress. As a pun on Area Zero, I was planning on naming this episode Zero Progress because, well, I feel like I was making zero progress, and considering I wasted over half the episode without making progress, I thought it'd be a very apt title. Although from the research station we found that Glamora blocking the way. Although crazy enough, I found another Pokemon down here. Totally forgot can spawn down here. A Frostmoth, which I think might be either rare or uncommon encounter because that's like just seems so random. And in case you couldn't tell by now, like, Area Zero is like a weird place because it's like always sunny here. You can never tell whether there's day or night here. But yet, this is what the research stations look like. They're just these big gray building thingamabobs. And the entrance door should be to the side here somewhere. Or at least it should be here somewhere. The game automatically will load me in if I find a blasted door. It's like on the right hand side of the building. Oh, there we go. That's a little annoying. The other research stations will be easier to enter because the doors are directly in front of them. But as soon as you enter each research station, you unlock a teleporter that will allow you to get back to the zero gates as well as teleport to the other research stations because Area Zero is freaking huge, so if you want to get around easier, you can teleport around to the different research stations to make it easier to find where you're looking for. Anyways, we just unlocked the first gate there. So 3 stations to go, 3 more buttons to unlock. And there's also a little thing over here that gives you a little bit of lore. In each research station, you all go to the upper left corner here. You can just quickly heal your team. And I got an uncollared there. And just for the heck of it, I think I'm actually gonna make this a quick episode and end things here because I'm actually reaching the end of my 1 hour timer, which I usually leave to record episodes. But considering I spent all this time just getting lost just to get to the first research station, although the fact it only took me an hour to find it is a record, usually it takes me like 3. But yeah, I'll end things here, and I guess I'll just see you all next time. Take care. Like, comment, subscribe. Links down in the description to my social medias below and all that other stuff. So yeah, take care, y'all.